Okay, we're going to talk about making a blueprint or a drawing. I just started one here, but I'm actually going to use a sample out of your Fusion 360 class, the introduction class. In the last week, they got introduction to milling and cam milling setup right here. Look at that, it's got a cam milling setup drawing. Here's one here. Let's look at this drawing. Oh. I think I kind of like that. All right. That's a pretty good example right there. And there's another. This is the one I just was working on, this one here. So if you're in your Fusion class, week 3, it says cam milling setup right here. And this is what we're going to use to make a drawing from. All right. It's a good example. It's a fairly simple part. So you've imported one. You didn't have to design it. And so we're going to go. So we're using design, manufacture, and now we're in drawing from design. Up here you have as choices: full assembly, visible, or select. And there's only one, so I think any one of these would work. I'm going to create new, and from scratch, and then we can pick a sheet size. We'll just go with the standards. And is this actually designed in inch? Because we didn't design this. And it is an inch, so we're going to keep it an inch. Hit OK. Okay, you're going to get actually a quickie setup here. The bottom right is called a title block. But right off the bat, it's trying to place one view, and that's this one here, base view. Personally, I don't like this front view. I want it to be the top view. This one here. I can hit enter, and there's my view right now. Now, I want to have other views based on this, what we call a 2 or a 3 view drawing, and maybe an isometric view on the side. I also want to say that probably this paper is too big, or the scale of this is too small. So I'm going to actually change the scale. I'm going to go in, I'm going to right click and hit edit view. And up here it says drawing view. We're working on top, so let's change the scale. And let's go 1:1. And that looks a little bit better. All right. I'm just going to hit close. All right. So I need to have what call it. I actually call this a front view, and then I have a top view and a right side view. So up here we're going to have projected view based, and it says select parent view. This is the parent view, and I'm going to go up here. And these will stay aligned with each other. You can move them in this direction, but you can't move them left and right. So everything will be lined up. I'm just going to put this here temporarily, hit enter. And I'm going to do the same thing again on the right side. I'm going to put one right there. Hit enter. That's your typical 3-view drawing in the US standard. I think it's called third projection or something like that. I'm going to add an isometric view, so I'm going to click the parent view, and I'm going to put one up here, and right about there. Looks good. Right there, hit enter. All right, so let's do some housekeeping. These are called hidden lines. This says all solid lines, this says hidden lines, like an X-ray view. I want to make this one look like a solid object, like the finished view. So up here, we can select different views. That one's not bad. That one's got hidden lines. That one is shaded. I think I like that one, right? I think up here the hidden lines are going to benefit us for dimensioning, and this may or may not. We may not even need this view over here, because over here I can see this can give me the depth of the pocket, and I can see these are through holes and they have countersinks only on one side. So I really don't need to see the back of this to know that they're just through. And this is kind of redundant, so I probably don't need this. But I'll leave it there for now. Alright, so the first thing you've got up here, we got base view, projected view, and this is called sectional view and detail view. We'll get into these later. And you have modify, which is moving or rotating. And these are like geometry lines for the print. Center line, center mark, center bolt pattern, edge extension, or you can actually create like little sketches on here. So this isn't solid modeling, it's really two-dimensional. And up here, this is dimensioning. This is like the nuts and bolts of this thing. This is your standard dimensioning. This is called ordinate dimensioning, linear dimensioning, angular, oh sorry, this is aligned, angular, radius, diameter, and baseline dimensioning is in chain dimensioning. Up here you have text, or text with a note, with a lead, they call these leader lines. And this one says hole and thread note. And up here you have surface texture, and these are called GD&T dimensions. And this one's for inserting an image like a picture, and then tables for like a parts list. And then last is PDF, like you're not going to send them your Fusion, you're trying to send it to somebody or have a document that you could have in the shop. So I'll put PDFs of these. Alright, so we need some basic dimensions, all the big numbers. We'll just click on this one. So select edge or specified point of the object. So I need to know this entire length. And make sure if there's any radiuses up here, you got to be careful where you click. But this is a square corner, so this should be fine. So go to that corner and over to this corner right there. And pull it up. So that's 7 inches. Okay. And note that proper dimensioning should never touch the object. This is the object, and these are dimension lines. All right, let's do the total thickness of this thing. Maybe I'll do it from here to there. And bring this out to there. And I need to know the width, so I can only do that on one of these two views. So maybe this will come in handy for that. I'll put this one here. And I think I'll remove these hidden lines. There we go. Hit close. Alright. Now I'm looking at these and I said, I think these numbers are kind of hard to read. I got sheet settings right here. You have sheet size, title block, and document settings. You got font, Arial, text height. Let's change the text to 240 tall. Hit OK. Well, that's easier to read. And let's get this to read a little bit better. We have dimensions, inch, decimal format. I don't see any decimals there. Double click. All right. Decimal format, yeah, linear, dimensioning, angular. I want to display trailing zeros. And do I really need it to say inch? I don't know, I think so. Well, let's try that. Alright, that's a little bit better. Move this out a little bit. Also, these trailing numbers are also an indication of tolerance. And if you look on a Titan print, it'll have like 3 x's equals plus or minus 5, 2 x's. That's all talk about the trailing numbers. So you're as an engineer, you're trying to communicate your tolerance by how many digits you have after the decimal. All right, let's get some other ones in here, like the depth of this pocket. So we'll go from here to there. So what many choices? Oh, I could put it right there. I think. All right. Okay, that's pretty good. and probably the size of this thing and the position and the radiuses. Let's do the outside radiuses. So we want to have radius, not diameter. Have radius, and if I put one here, and that's that one. Let me just, oh, let me go back up here again, dimension radius. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay. We're going to be putting more dimensions on here, and this is going to be very cluttered. We only need to say 0.5 in one area and say typically 6 places. That'd be descriptive enough. So I'm